my patience. Hyping all this lame. No one got a brain, they just be liking all the same. This is what the I'm in on industry games. I'm convinced that nobody is speaking my language. I'm a good ass, so listen close when I say this. After every feel stainless. I can make a fiend go. Everything I wrote gon' smoke, so dangerous. I can make an Einstein feel brainless. But look on the bright side, hope yield changes. I'ma get it started, please give me a pardon. Cause this the type of beat that get the whole crowd marching. Time to shut it down, we made the whole town Spartan. I'm from outer space, so all my homegirls Martian. It's about to get critical, this moment is pivotal. Here to feed the streets, they say my influence umbilical. We gon' make it grimy, devil get behind me. Told you I'm the best, I done said it with my chest. So for real, nobody try me.
Down in the new town, I already feel that it's eyes on me. I'm getting looked up, down with the big round, they already going by the size of me. I don't really get took, put my deuce up, I will not live in apology. I wish you lose the opportunity, you suck, homemade ways for a prodigy.
And I say, one for the money and two for the love. We the new era, so whoever may feel they above. Live in delusion, that's an illusion, it's absent. Keep it together, don't act like you didn't know what it was. I'm on a whole nother planet, I'm about to show you. This wouldn't work if we planned it, meaning you won't understand it. We have to rings like it's Saturn, this feel like splitting an atom. We got involved with the pattern, so now we up and we at 'em. Watch out for my evolution, around and start a revolution. I am more than a being, I'm an institution. If I gotta reiterate, that's where I'ma lose it. It's my world and I'm generous and let y'all peruse it. How obnoxious, she ain't got a conscience. She's okay with being a little absurd and pompous. That's because I kill it, then stick around just to haunt it. Waiting on my thank you, be grateful that I would even let you watch this.
Down in the new town, I already feel that it's eyes on me. I'm getting looked up, down with the big round, they already going by the size of me. I don't really get took, put my deuce up, I will not live in apology. I wish you lose the opportunity, you suck, homemade ways for a prodigy.
Gonna catch your breath for a second. Look at your neighbor and checking. We bout to march, so if you not get to stepping. I done told you who I am. I'm a force to be reckoned with. I think just be mad because my voice is so decadent. I'm setting a precedent. No mistakes and no accident. We ignoring the standard set cause our lowest is passionate. This alone is a classic hit. I'm a verb amongst adjectives. If the industry full of and my words is a laxative. I'm a maniac on these beats. I'm insane and it's not discreet. I'm enraged because y'all ain't see it. I'm spraying on every street, entertaining no whack opinion. Who's saying we not elite? I'm over Balenciagas. I'm changing into my cleats. It's go time. It's showtime. I ain't calming down until this place is a ghost town. Tired of the faking. We bringing back Motown. No staring this go round. I'm taking no prisoners, so prepare for a showdown.
Down in the new town, I already feel that it's eyes on me. I'm getting looked up, down with the big round, they already going by the size of me. I don't really get took, put my deuce up, I will not live in apology. I wish you lose the opportunity, you suck, homemade ways for a prodigy. Just down in the new town, I already feel that it's eyes on me. I'm getting looked up, down with the up, I will not live in apology. I wish you lose the opportunity, you suck, homemade ways for a prodigy.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL playoffs brings us to the Pacific Northwest, the home of the 12s, and they are in full roar as you get a look inside Lumen Field in Seattle. Coming up, we've got an ultra-important divisional round matchup in the NFC, as it'll be the Arizona Cardinals taking on the Seattle Seahawks. The first of 4 berths in the conference championships on the line here as divisional weekend in the NFL is underway. A handoff to Harris to begin the drive. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. A big play on the ground there. It goes for 36 yards. start. Right off the bat, a chunk play into enemy territory.
And I don't care how you plan for it. I don't care what you see on tape where you think you can get that type of a play. That's still a great rush and a little bit of a surprise to break off a run like that this early in the game.
So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. First down, and they go back to Harris. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Here's a 2nd and 5. Powell. That's caught. Allen Robinson. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. That's good for a 1st down. He's a guy who went over 1,000 yards receiving in the regular season, and now he's got his first catch of the playoffs. Pretty solid opening drive here, Charles. They've worked in the run game, the pass game, just steadily getting yards, and now they've got it inside the red zone here with an opportunity.
And the only thing they don't have so far is points. But the way that they're moving the ball now, that shouldn't take much longer. And they've established a great balance so far. Running, passing, doing what they want on offense.
Now a 1st down carry for Harris. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. And the safety, Trayvon Merrick, up to make the play defensively.
Now that's exactly what you want on a 1st down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5. The defensive line, though, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front because the offensive line is winning at the point of attack.
Now 2nd and 5. Throwing here, Howell. Touchdown! Ashton Doolin, an 11-yard touchdown. And the Seahawks are on the board first here in this division round matchup. So they take the opening kickoff and drive it all the way down the field.
And that's the last thing you want defensively. On the road, in the playoffs, and now you're down a touchdown right away.
Now Cade York for the extra point. And this will give the Seahawks a 7-0 lead. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Fair catch going to be taken, and this will be moved out to the 25. Starts with a run from Achane. And he's going to be hemmed in and brought down right at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
for no gain. Now they'll try again from the 25 on 2nd and 10. Now here's Mahomes. That's to the veteran. It's Robert Woods. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Just one catch for him last week in the wild card win, but getting involved early here and picks up the first. We'll see what kind of mindset they have here offensively after giving up the touchdown on the opening drive.
And based on our time with them, prior to this game, I feel like they've got a good mindset going in. In fact, the discussion that we had with the coaching staff was, we may give up some points in this game, so offense has to be ready each and every time to either equal or try and get us ahead and try and keep us ahead. This is their chance to respond to that first touchdown given up.
Now Achane on 1st and 10. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10.
Absolutely love the effort there. The ability to flow from his inside spot and stop that one at the line of scrimmage. Nice linebacker play.
Second and 10. Catch made by Slayton. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
They'll see about converting this 3rd and 8. Now Mahomes. Once again, he finds Slayton. And a pretty nice tackle there, ranging up from his free safety spot as he'll stop him about a yard short. They'll wind up getting 7 on the play, and that's going to make it 4th down. They'll go. Achane. And this is going to be a Cardinals first down as he's got this up to the 45-yard line.
And when you get into the divisional round of the playoffs, this is where having the ability to run the football is such an advantage. The defenses, they're generally going to be tougher the further you go along. So if you can get something established up front, it's going to give you a great chance to move on.
The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. Achane here, they stay on the ground. Dexter Lawrence that time in on the stop.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
2nd and 9 from the 44. Looking to throw is Mahomes. This one is Slayton over the middle. And to the 36-yard line, taken down there after getting 8 yards. Well, safe to say the passing game has found a rhythm. He's now 4 of 4, but might need to be 5 of 5 to keep this drive going here as they face a 3rd down.
And maybe perhaps you show a running play, right? Maybe a little play action here to go ahead and let him throw the ball downfield. I wouldn't get away from him flinging it because 4 for 4 already. I think he's got a good chance of picking this one up here on 3rd down.
Ninth play coming up here on this drive. This is 3rd and a yard. They'll run for it with Achane. And maybe a little over pursuit there as he's able to take this down to the 25-yard line. It's a gain of 11 and a Cardinal 1st down.
Plenty of things to talk about here, partner, but to me, their defense gave up a touchdown on the first drive. How about how they're responding, coming back? That's a big 3rd down pickup to keep their drive alive.
They fake the give. Now Mahomes. Oh, he had a man running free, but he overshot him, and it's incomplete.
There are not many times where you might say it's a detriment to have a quarterback with a cannon for an arm, but this might be one of those few times. He just laid that one out there a bit too far, and his receiver couldn't run under it.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Hodgins in motion. And a quick shuffle pass here is complete. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4. That was a lightning-fast decision that time. He just caught it and got rid of it.
Because he saw his guy was going to be open immediately, so he took the R, the run, out of the play. He took the O, the option, out of the play, and immediately got to the pass.
Here is 3rd down and 4. Back to the ground, Achane. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks. Had a chance to maybe limit them to 3 if they could have gotten that stop there, but a new set of downs.
And with a new set of downs, you got to take the mentality of the whole thing. Right now, everyone's looking at the offense and saying they've got the advantage. The best defenses just say, okay, new set of downs. It gives us another chance to make a play ourselves and maybe change things up.
Now a 1st and 10 at the 11. Throwing now is Mahomes. They'll swing this out wide. Here's Achane. No gain on the play. And that's going to bring up 2nd down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. Here's 2nd and 10. Here's Mahomes to throw. Got his tight end. That's complete. It's Lewis. Calling a gain of 6 on the play, and it brings up 3rd and 5 now.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. From the gun on 3rd down, Mahomes. And down he goes. Pressure gets him back at the 14. Trayvon Walker coming in to drop him for a loss of 8, and it also brings up 4th.
Well, it's about how teams are so competitively matched, and you just want to make those plays that give you an advantage. How about right here? The difference between letting them score a touchdown versus holding them to a field goal, that's absolutely huge with the play he just made.
And you know he hated taking the loss there on 3rd down. So both teams come away with points on their opening drives. Now they still trail. They answered the touchdown with a field goal, but at least able to break that goose egg here early.
And that is what's important, right? Because they didn't let that initial touchdown go unanswered. Took the ball themselves, moved it downfield, and put it through the post for 3 points. Game on.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles' defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
From the 33, here's 2nd and 5. Howell, he'll look to throw it. A little short pass. This is Everett. And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1. They'll give him 4 yards there. And now 1 yard to go on 3rd down. After 1, 7-3 the score on EA Sports. Second quarter now from Seattle, and it is the Seahawks with the football here as they've got it with a 3rd down coming up. So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. Third and 1. Howell's going to throw it. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
Partner, we've got ourselves a ball game, and those guys on defense, they came to play. Slipped up on their first series, but they're definitely settling in now and letting it be known that points won't come so easy again.
Blake Gillikin on to punt now on 4th down. Deontay Hardy back deep. On the return, Hardy. And he gets it here to right around the 24 before he's out of bounds. It's a 45-yard punt, but a decent return there of 9 yards. And the Cards will take over 1st and 10. ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. Their drive last time, it stalled out. They were forced to take the short field goal.
And the key phrase, you nailed it, forced to, because you know coaches look at these short field goals as a last resort, right? To them, that's not how drives are supposed to end. You're supposed to put 6 on the board. That's a consolation prize, like going to the county fair. You don't get the big stuffed animal on that one, do you?
No, you don't go top shelf. That's bottom shelf material.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. Now a 2nd and 10. A run straight ahead with Achane. Takes this to the 27, give him 4 yards.
That 2nd down play call was not to pick up the 1st down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable 3rd down because they had incompletion on 1st down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
This offense on 3rd down today, they've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. To throw, it's Mahomes. That's complete to Slayton. And I don't think he got there, no. He's short by maybe a foot, maybe. Call it 4th and inches.
Well, it looks like they got what they wanted. They got the completion, but they weren't able to break any tackles or gain nearly enough yardage to pick up the 1st down. Now to be 4th and short.
And in their own territory, needing only a few inches, they're going to line up to go for this thing on 4th down. They'll try and run for it. And this will depend on the mark. I'm not sure he pushed the line forward. And indeed, he did not. They stop him. Curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out. And the Seahawks, they'll get the football back in outstanding field position. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Al down to throw it. Rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off by Trayvon Merrick. And the Cardinals are going to take over once again at their own 25-yard line.
Well, that's a drive killer right there. Not a really confident throw either. This one was kind of up for grabs, and it's going to come down the hands of the wrong team.
Arizona's offense at the line, ready to get their drive started. A kind of a lucky break on the prior drive, Charles. The turnover on downs that the offense had didn't come back to bite them after the other side. Their defense came through, was able to hold them without any points.
I would agree with you, partner. A little bit of a lucky break indeed, but you know what they'd say to us? No luck, just pure skill. We rose to the challenge, and we didn't permit a score. That's how we roll.
Well, I'm kind of curious, Charles, if they might temper their aggressiveness now offensively if they get in that 4th down spot again.
Yeah, one would think so, but maybe because they held them, they might go for it again.
first down. Flushed out right. And that'll be off the mark. Too far out in front, and it's incomplete.
That was an interesting look there because as soon as he got outside the pocket, I thought he was going to take off and run for yardage. But what often happens now with these quarterbacks who can move, defenses want to try and keep bodies in front of them, and I think that discouraged him from taking off and made him try a pass downfield that fell incomplete.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Mahomes now to throw. Over the middle, that's caught by Woods. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. Now we're going to get a stoppage here as we've got an injured Cardinal on the field. Well, the medical staff is going to come out here and take a look, and we will take a short break. Here now, 3rd and a yard. Throw there, but it's going to be incomplete. Was that the incorrect read or just more an error on the throw by the quarterback?
I lean more towards the latter because it seemed like he was open there, just missed him on the throw.
And a tough one to miss because now you're dealing with a 4th down. The offense going to stay out there. They've converted once, failed once. What can they do here on 4th down? They'll try and run for it. And he has the first down yardage before they bring him down right at the 45.
Okay, you and I are sitting up here getting ready to analyze whether they should go for it or not. Did you see the quarterback just point to the sideline and say, everybody back, I've got this call?
Well, you knew this side of the field, they're in plus territory, 4th and 1. He wasn't coming off the field.
No, he wasn't coming off the field, and he wasn't letting the offense go with him at all. He said, we're staying out here, and we're picking this one up. That's some leadership right there.
On 1st and 10, here's Mahomes. Pressure comes. He's taken down by the Seahawks defense. Jonathan Allen breaking through to get him to the ground. It's a loss of 7.
You know, on these types of plays, we're always looking to assess blame. Okay, where did it break down? Sometimes it's just a great play.
Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down. And Woods will go in motion right. Throwing on 2nd and long. Mahomes escaping the pressure right. And this one is going to be off the mark, too far out in front.
Well, partner, guaranteed they approach this play with the idea of making up ground to make 3rd down manageable. Unfortunately, with that incompletion, right back where they started on the last snap. Now they need a big 3rd down play in order to pick up the yardage needed.
Mahomes going to throw. Oh, that's into a sea of bodies, and it's intercepted. Picked up by the linebacker, Jordan Hicks. And the Seahawks are going to have great field position here as this is returned just shy of midfield.
And I think this is a situation where a quarterback coach on the sideline is going to talk to a signal caller and say, listen, it's 3rd and long, and it's still early in the game. Let's not force things here. If we don't feel good about it, let's just check something down and punt the football.
Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. They start near midfield following the interception as they begin 1st and 10. They'll start the drive with Harris. And just 1 yard here from the 49 to the 50.
That felt like a trap because it looked to me like the opposing front was on that play from the get-go. They had everyone crashing the ball carrier before he even made the line, and they hold him to just a yard.
Now 2nd and 9. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. A little short pass. This is Everett. That'll give him 8 that time. And that will bring up 3rd and 1. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
This is 3rd and 1. Very likely 4-down territory, even if they don't get it, though. It's brought in by Harris. And boy, he is very close to a 1st down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the 1st down. In this case, it didn't happen.
Too long for a field goal, too short to punt. That in-between range, and they'll go for it on 4th down. Howell out of the shotgun. That's to his running back, complete. They'll cross over out of bounds right at the 25. A defensive breakdown allows a pickup of 16 on 4th down. Boy, that's some kind of effort. When he caught it, I doubted if he could get there. Knew it was going to be close, but credit him. Really good effort.
How about the rack on that play, the run after catch? But most of the time we think of it as just being an open field and picking up yardage. Sometimes you have to be real physical in order to gain the yardage you need for a 1st down.
Another throw for Howell. A throw on the money there to Doolin. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. Another strong gain on the last 2 plays. They've moved it a combined 33 yards.
Just picking up yardage in bunches here these last few plays. They have moved right down the field, and just like that, they're going to be set up with a 1st and goal.
2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. Howell. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
Well, nearly another interception there. That would have been 2 drives in a row with a pick. He's got to start taking care of the ball way better than what we're seeing.
Interestingly, that throw was probably worse than the one he threw the interception on last drive, but fell incomplete. Nothing on 1st down, so the ball remains at the 8-yard line, 2nd and goal. Now Howell. Eluding the pressure right. And he just chucked that one out of bounds, out of everyone's reach. Maybe a wise call not to take a sack in this part of the field. It brings up 3rd down.
And a smart play there. He's probably saying,
I wish I would have done that on the last drive instead of throwing the interception.
A big one coming in this divisional round playoff, 3rd and goal. In motion left, that's Thornton. Howell, 3rd and goal. And that's going to be incomplete. The contact there enough to jar that ball free, and it brings up 4th down.
Problems on 3rd down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on 3rd down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get to 3rd down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on 1st and 2nd down.
So, Charles, they get to them with their first turnover of the game and then make it hurt a little bit extra with a field goal.
And anytime you give the ball up, what's the first thing a coach tells his defense? Don't let them score off of this. You've got to put out the fire. In fact, in 2021, that's what one NFL coach termed his defense, the firemen. Go out there, guys, and don't let them put some points on the board.
But no run back here. Fair catch, and this will come out to the 25. Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. It's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done in a ball game. They've got to find a way to finish these drives in end zones, not having balls go through goalposts.
How about Jonathan Allen there, pushing upfield to make the stop behind the line?
Defensively, he has been a presence in their backfield in the first half. Had a sack earlier, and now he comes up with a big tackle for a loss.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Now here's Mahomes. Flush to his right. He'll find Hodgins there complete. It'll go down as a gain of 6, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down. He was out there waving his arms, and when you got a quarterback out of the pocket looking for any help, I guess waving the arms is helpful.
It certainly is, because you got to get his attention, because now you're in scramble drill. So everyone's adjusting their routes, finding open space, and he found the right spot for the completion.
This offense so far on 3rd down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. This will be 3rd and 6. Catch made by Slayton. And this will not be enough. On 3rd and 5, he only gets 3.
A short gain that doesn't get him the first down brings up a 4th down situation.
Really nice job defensively. They knew where the sticks were. They got the stop before it. Here's the veteran punter Lee as he sends this one away. This is taken at the 15. And call that an even 50 yards on the punt with 7 on the return. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
68 yards rushing for him now as he has been strong here in the first half of this divisional round matchup. From all the way up at the 38 now after a good start to the drive. They'll go play action. Howell. Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call. He's trying to protect his quarterback's blind side. Got nabbed for the hold.
You have one job over there. Make sure that man does not get hit. So if you have to hold occasionally, do so, because they don't catch all of them. This time they did.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. Throwing here, Howell. Robinson's got it. If they didn't have that penalty a moment ago, it'd be a 1st down. Still a nice 13-yard pickup.
That looked like a pretty good route combination there, because you've got to find a way to clear the guy running the drag, because when you do, you just put the ball on him and then let him run.
Yeah, he's got some space. Second quarter action, 2 minutes to go on Divisional Round weekend. We remind you, as we've done all year, that coming up at halftime, we will visit with Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll let you know what's going on here on a very eventful Divisional Round weekend. From the 41, here's 2nd down at 7. Doolin, the man in motion. Back to throw. Howell. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete.
A pretty rocky start in this game for the guy throwing the ball. Already has thrown one interception. Almost threw a second one right there. All he's doing right now is giving the defense a whole lot of confidence.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. And Howell will throw it. It's caught inside the 25. And he takes it all the way down to the 22. That's a gain of nearly 40 yards on 3rd and medium to pick up the 1st.
Well, my dad would say sometimes, I'm just scratching my head here trying to figure out what was going on there defensively. How did you lose him in the middle of the field? If you're going to lose a receiver, make sure it's someone on the short side of things, not deep downfield, that can hurt your defense.
So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. And once more, Howell back to the air. And this one complete to Doolin. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. 11 more on that one, and another 1st down.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10. A run with Harris out of the shotgun. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this 1st half. From the 4, it's 2nd and a couple. Here's Howell. Flushed out right. Touchdown, Seahawks. DeAndre Hopkins from is out. And the Seahawks will extend their lead in the final minute of the half. York now for the extra point. It's up and good, and that makes it 17-3. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. Arizona's offense at the line, ready to get their drive started. And with him down 2 scores, you wonder if they might try and put something together, even if it's just to get into field goal range. Throwing on first down is Mahomes. Oh, everything falling apart now. Another one intercepted. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Well, CD, we have seen it many times throughout the course of the season. This defense coming up large and snagging a big takeaway. But here, they get not just the takeaway, 6 points as well.
And you just knew that for this team to advance, it had to get a big performance from this unit. And to this point, they've delivered.
The York on now for the extra point. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21 points. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
And Mahomes misfires again, and it's intercepted. It's the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu. An unfortunate sequence there, trying to get points before intermission, but now the interception, and their opponents have a chance to possibly pad their lead.
Yeah, they had an opportunity there, and they weren't able to capitalize on it, and that's something that could come back and haunt them later. They're begging their defense now to keep them from scoring before the half ends.
A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on 1st and goal. They go with a shuffle pass, and it's complete. Touchdown! Gerald Everett as the first half is winding down. And the Seahawks continue to show why it pays to play at home in the postseason as they add on to their lead.
That score that they just gave up there, that's a tough one for their defense to swallow because they've had a tough time through the first 2 quarters. They really were determined to get a stop there, unable to do so. That makes their comeback hopes that much more difficult.
Extra point by York is up and good. And the rout is on here in this first half. So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. And he'll elect not to run with it. And a fair catch will move this out to the 25-yard line. Arizona's offense at the line, ready to get their drive started. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. They still need about the length of the football here, maybe a little less as they come up on 2nd and inches. Looking to throw is Mahomes. Now this thrown deep for Slayton. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Christian Fulton. Well, Charles, so close to halftime there. You throw the interception. Not only that, you do give it to them in plus territory as well.
Yeah, they were pushing real hard to try and get something more on the board on their side of the ledger right before the half. Looking at it with 20/20 hindsight, though, might have been better to hand it off a few times, hoping to get something to break instead of putting the ball in the air and, of course, putting the ball in jeopardy.
First half in the books. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gordon, set and ready to rock for the 3rd quarter. A trip to the NFC title game hanging in the balance. Second half action back underway. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. And Charles, that had to be an interesting locker room at halftime. This is a team that's had so much success this year. Haven't really had to deal with a lot of adversity at halftime, to be honest, but now here they are with their playoff lives on the line.
And I think when you're alluding to that interesting locker room, you're just wondering, how are they handling that bit of adversity that they're seeing right now? Because I think this is a team that has to look to lean on the veterans at this point. We know we're better than this. We've proved it all season. Let them disseminate that confidence through the locker room. But this opening drive, it'll be an important one for them to give them a little jolt of confidence moving forward.
On 2nd down, here's Mahomes. They'll swing this out wide. Here's Achane. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. A gain of 10, first down, Arizona.
Well, maybe this offense has learned something from watching their counterparts work. I'm wondering if their coaching staff said, let's do what they've been doing the entire game, because that's worked well. This offense, they have not looked particularly good all game long, but a nice throw there for a good gain and a first down.
Mahomes now on first down. And that one complete to Hodgins. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. Give him 30 yards there.
I don't care what level of football you played. This one was a universal, wasn't it? When we were kids and we played touch football, remember we get in these positions and you just say, everybody go long and hope someone would come free.
On first down, Mahomes. A short throw to Ingram. And down to the 20 he'll go before heading out of bounds. That's over 40 yards of movement with those last 2 plays. I don't know what they talked about at halftime. Whatever it was, it worked. They look like a different team here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, I doubt that there are very many trash cans that got kicked over, that type of a speech. I think what they did was they analyzed what worked in the first half, what didn't, and figured out a better game plan.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
Just what they need, a lecture from me, but subpar offense is what helped get them into this spot. And now they're continuing the trend with incompletions. That won't get them out of it if they don't change something soon.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Throw left side taken in by Slayton. And he's only going to get a yard from the 20 to the 19. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of until they stop him, why not go back to it? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
Again, they'll throw with Mahomes. And this is going to be incomplete.
Coverage was awfully tight there on third down. They actually closed off all the passing lanes, forcing the incompletion and bringing up fourth down.
Gay's kick is good, and that drops a deficit from 28 to 25. I'm kind of surprised by that they kicked the field goal. I guess you get some points, but this deficit third quarter, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. When you're down that much, kicking a field goal, does it feel a little bit maybe waving the white flag and just want to get out of here? Yeah, I think you got to go ahead and try and get some bigger points on the board.
Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. And it's hard to imagine that the first half could have gone any better for them. So what's the approach here in the second half?
Just continue to play smart football because they got the other team down and they feel good about the position they're in. The obvious thing people would say is just keep attacking, but I think you also have to be smart about it. Avoid turnovers. That's about the only thing that can derail you at this point. Attack, but make sure you take care of the ball.
83 yards rushing for him now in the ball game as he is trying to will his guys to the championship round next weekend. They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. They'll keep it on the ground. Harris again. There he goes, right side. And he will take this all the way down to the Cardinals' 32-yard line. That one good for 37 yards.
Most of their damage has been done through the air. I mean, they've rung the bell 3 times with passing touchdowns, but guess what? Ground game has not been neglected. Nice little burst right there.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. Harris running straight ahead. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on 1st down.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
On 2nd down, this is Harris. They're going to snuff this play out behind the line. We have not seen that much today. They go backwards there 2 yards, and 2nd and 1 is now 3rd and 3.
Well, they've had success on the ground on this drive, and that makes a defense more likely to overcommit to stop the run as they did on that play. But keep in mind, it makes them susceptible to play-action passes as well.
They'll come up now 3rd and 3. Completing the quick throw out wide. And he takes it down to the 10-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
A lot of deflated looks on that defense. It seems like they just cannot find a way to get a key stop on 3rd down. Here's another conversion, and now this offense, they're in a position to go up even further as they've got it 1st and goal.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. Al now throwing. Escaping the pressure right. A poor decision there, and it's going to be intercepted. And the Cards are going to take over once again, and they'll have it at their own 8-yard line. Arizona's offense at the line, ready to get their drive started. They got the ball now following a big play, keeping the other guys out of the end zone. Now they'll start deep in their own territory, 1st and 10.
So after the INT, here's Mahomes.
He'll connect on the out route with Ingram.
And he's brought down, but not before they get it across the 20-yard line. Give him 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give him a first down.
Up the middle, Achane.
And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball, but when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
Play action. Now it's Mahomes.
And that's going to be caught downfield by Slayton.
And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. It's a gain of 35. So that changes things a bit. Here's a 1st and 10 all the way down at the 35. Mahomes going to throw. A short throw to Ingram. And he'll be out of bounds, able to get it down to the 25 there. 10 more there and another first down.
Now what we're seeing, this is much better from this offense because so far in this game, no touchdown to this point. And what's usually a direct correlation? Very few explosive plays. That's been their issue. Not able to make that big shot downfield or break one off, but a nice game there for a first down.
Out of the gun, here's a give to Achane.
And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done.
56 yards rushing for him now as he's carried it 13 times.
Despite the score, despite the deficit, no quitting this guy. He's running angry, running through arm tackles. He wants to change what that scoreboard is saying.
On 1st down, back to Achane.
And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
From the 9, 2nd and 5.
Here's Mahomes to throw. And that'll be incomplete.
That one was tipped up in the air and fortunately fell away for the defense because if the offense is able to grab that one, that's a short little jaunt into the end zone because there's not enough reaction time off of a tip ball for the defense to rally and make a tackle. They were very fortunate on that play.
And on 3rd and 5, this will be the 8th play of the drive. That's complete to Slayton. They'll wind up getting just a yard out of it, and it'll be 4th down.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
I guess they figure they got to start taking some chances. Here's a big one in this 3rd quarter as he'll go for it on 4th down.
Hey, 43, 43, 15. Yellow. 15.
To throw, it's Mahomes. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Cardinals unable to convert there on 4th down. And the Seahawks are going to take over the football.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. The last time out, they had the good drive going. You get in the red zone, they throw the interception. Not their first pick of the game either, so we'll see if they're more careful, more cautious here on this drive.
Yeah, nothing worse than repeat mistakes, right? You end up coughing the ball up, you end up throwing a pick, everything goes awry, and now points don't go up on the board. I just heard a fan scream out, I thought the idea was to score points. Yeah, they're getting a little restless too. That's a really nice, tough run inside, and they gained 5 yards on it. And to be frank about it, most offenses don't expect to get 5 yards on a play call like that. So when they do, they go back to their huddle with a little pep in their steps. They're starting to think that they're starting to dominate the line of scrimmage.
19 Tiger, 65 cat, 65 cat.
Harris going to get it again on second down. And some room to work. And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line. 163 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
First and 10 at the 44-yard line.
Just like that, out of danger and up past the 40 now for first and 10. They stay on the ground. Again, it's Harris. Now, he's able to break through one tackle, but it slowed him down enough that he could only manage getting back to the line of scrimmage. Second and 10 here as we sit in the third quarter of this divisional round matchup. This time they'll throw it with Howell. The hook up on the right side to Hopkins. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. Good work after the catch. Going to net him 23 and a first.
For a Seahawks. First and 10 at the 33-yard line.
1 quarter remains for a trip to the NFC title game. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Seattle, Washington. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. So into Cardinal territory now. It's first and 10 down at the 33. They hand this off to Harris. And not much running room. Down to the 32. Tackle made that time by Dalvin Tomlinson. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the fourth quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
And he gets stopped up at the 31 after a gain of maybe a yard.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Howell throwing on third down here. Got a man, it's Tyquan Thornton. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. So the completion good for 7 there. And that'll bring up fourth down. Cade York on now for the field goal. He connected on his first, this from 41. York able to send this one through, and that will extend their lead even further. Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. Their hopes of advancing past this divisional round hanging by a thread, if that, as they begin here with a 1st and 10 on the wrong side of the scoreboard. Here's Achane to start the drive. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick 1st down.
We'll definitely see some open running lanes, and he's taking advantage of it right now, but that shouldn't be a surprise. Defense has the lead. They're playing for the pass first.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. They go play fake. Mahomes. And that is going to be incomplete as he led him a bit too much.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
Hodgins in motion. Now they'll fake the jet sweep and off play action. Here's Mahomes. And the pass complete to Ingram on the crossing route. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. Now we're going to get a stoppage here as we've got an injured Cardinal on the field. Well, now they're going to come out and take a look at this injury, and we'll be back in a moment. So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10, right at the 40.
Hey, 43, 43, 15. Yellow, yellow. Hey, rip left.
A give, running right, Achane. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Credit Melvin Ingram, able to get into the backfield and make the stop. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
So a step in the wrong direction. Now they'll look to make amends on 2nd and 14. In motion, Slayton. Catch made by Slayton. And that's a touchdown, but hold on. There is a flag down on the field. We'll have to see what this is about. A costly penalty there. A lineman got downfield, and for the moment, that cost him 6 points. Right back to Achane on 2nd down. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. They lose 2 on that last play, so things get even tougher. 3rd and long coming up.
I know they've got to be careful not to go to the well too often, but it's a fine line, isn't it? Because sometimes if you got success, you want to just keep pounding away.
But no success there. They rallied quickly on the defensive end. A 3rd down now. Those last 2 plays indicative of how things have gone for them. Just nowhere to go on the ground and struggling to put up points. Throwing now is Mahomes. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Tell you what, partner, after he ices down, he's going to need a nice long soak in a hot tub after this one. He's been under duress the entire game.
Yeah, once again, hit as he throws. Fortunate that one wound up incomplete. Here's Andy Lee now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. And it would appear that that first-round bye certainly helped. They've looked fresh from the start and no letdown here as they lead big in this divisional round and they look to book a spot in the conference championship. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down. They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL, and he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it one more time, so make sure you get in shape.
The rush defense stout on first down. Here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. In motion right goes Hopkins. And they're going to give it to him on the jet sweep. Oh, and this one may need to go back to the drawing board. He's going to be swallowed up right away. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11. That's the danger, Charles, of running plays like this for your wide receiver. They can hit big or they can be duds.
Yeah, you're exactly right about that, because if they're forced to try and go around defenders behind the line of scrimmage, sometimes you can give yardage in order to gain it. But in this case, they gave yardage and didn't get it back.
Back to throw, Howell. And that is incomplete. The CD, they're up big, but they're still passing it. I mean, this is an offense that's had a lot of success in this game, and it seems like they're just having fun out there.
And it does feel like there's been a shift out there, doesn't it, partner? Listen, if you're up, you can continue to do what you want to do. It's up to the other team to make you change how you do things. They'll continue to throw it around until stopped.
Here's Hardy set to return. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. A pretty good punt, but a nice 13-yard return. And they will take over 1st and 10. Arizona's offense at the line, ready to get their drive started. Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
Certainly looked like someone was very confident in his ability to fit that one in. I would say he was overconfident because there wasn't a whole lot of separation there. Had that one covered pretty well downfield and knocked it away.
Easy. Yellow.
Mahomes again here on 2nd and 10. That ball caught by Slayton. Touchdown, Cardinals. Darius Slayton, 57 yards. And the Cardinals are finally into the end zone here in this 4th quarter. He's got them out now to a 3-score lead here in the 4th quarter after that one, CD. And well, he looked right off the line like he knew that that ball was coming his way, and he secured it for 6 points.
Yeah, and I think when you're leading by a healthy margin already, it actually loosens you up and allows you to take maybe a few more chances and definitely play with more confidence, because he certainly saw something he could exploit in the defense, and he made sure to let his quarterback know, just get it to me. And the rest was all up to him, and he delivered and made it a 3-score game.
And the Seahawks, looks like they've recovered. They have. Well, 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
Now a 1st down carry for Harris. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Hit and drop behind the line by Shelby Harris. On this day, the ground has been his, but at least on that individual play, we just saw the defense finally with a win.
Yeah, they finally got one, and that's a win for them, but all game long, he's seen the holes, and they've been huge for him. Kind of like a baseball hitter in the zone. The ball seems bigger, and he's just whacking it. These guys, they've got it going today.
They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for third down. Looked like a pretty good, safe play right there. No, he's had trouble with the interceptions in this game there. Hits his guy out in the flat.
Yeah, so many times we hear quarterbacks and offensive coordinators talk about in your progressions, you're either throwing the touchdown or you're throwing the check down. But earlier in the game, it was touchdown or interception. Now he got to the check down, a nice safe throw, and a good one.
And he will be very close to a first down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means fourth down. This late in the game, Charles, I think you maybe seriously have to think about going for it.
Especially where they are in terms of field position, because this is almost like no man's land. Might hurt your punter because there might not be enough space, maybe too far for your field goal kicker. I'm like the old rule. Possession is 9/10 of the law. Possession is 9/10 of winning the game. Go for it, get the first down, close it out.
And his kick is good. He got every bit of that one as it's good from 56 yards out. And that will extend their lead even further. So they're content to take the three. Somewhat of a conservative call there, opting not to go for it on 4th and inches.
And that's from a team that you and I know is not usually playing it close to the vest. It's a little bit of a surprise that they opted for the three instead of going for it.
Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. They knew this would be tough on the road, divisional round, and that has certainly been the case with the deficit they face in this fourth quarter. Well, it's a shuffle pass, and it's complete. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give him that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Mahomes to throw on second down. And the Seahawks defense gets to him, and they bring him down. Loss of 10 as multiple defenders get to him.
I remember throughout my career hearing defensive coaches always say, guys, you got to earn the right to rush the passer. Well, they put themselves in a great spot with this big lead, and they know they've got to throw the ball.
These pass rushers have to be salivating. It is pin your ears back time indeed. Gonna need better protection here. 3rd and long following the sack from Mahomes and company. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
Here's Andy Lee now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. And out will come the offense as they take over. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. It's been a dominant performance to this point, Charles, and this is probably exactly how they scripted this and envisioned it. They got a 3-score lead, 4th quarter, and a chance if they want to continue to pour it on here.
It is their call, isn't it? I mean, the way that they have taken on this game and the way that they have carried this game and have dominated this game, you're exactly right. Do what you want down the stretch. The era of, hey, if you don't want us to do this to you, then you need to stop us. Their call to finish this one off.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. On the give, this is Harris. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. He'll get the penalty yardage back exactly, 10 yards, as they'll get it to 2nd and 10.
I have to chuckle to myself a little bit, Brandon, because right now, I could be in that huddle with that offensive line. I know exactly what they're saying. If you call a pass play here, We're going to call timeout. Run the football. We've got control of this thing. Get him behind us and let's go.
Their time to shine. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. They get 17 on that one. Move the chains. First down, Seahawks. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. And the scoreboard on their side, they're just looking to melt away these final couple of minutes and put this one in the left-hand column. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. They run again with Harris. On a determined run there as he's going to take this all the way down near the 40. Another nice gain, 16 yards there and a first down again.
And that's a great run, and this is where you've got a running back who feels like he needs to take over this football game. You're in the second half, you've got the lead, you're looking at moving on to the conference championship, and he's got to be saying, just keep giving me the ball, and I'll get us home.
The first down carry here for Johnson. And little room to maneuver there. He gets it down to about the 39. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
I like it. I like the call. Still an opportunity to run the football and chew up a little more time off the clock.
Here's Johnson again on 2nd down. Officially no gain on the play, and they're left with a 3rd and 8. Nice job there defensively to clamp down because really they've been on their heels this drive.
Agreed, and they really needed that one for confidence, just to feel a little bit better. But I don't know if I would be daunted by them stopping me on one run. This drive has gone pretty well. I could come right back at them.
And they're moving on to the conference championship. How about this?
What a tremendous feeling to get to the game that can get you to the Super Bowl. A fantastic season. Unfortunately, for the other team, a tough, tough way for it to end.
So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. It's a win for the Seahawks here as we say so long from Seattle.